I found a turtle. I'm like making sure that it gets across the road so it doesn't get hit. Go on. Go on, turtle. Come on. Just across the road. You're almost there. Go on. No cars yet, but come on. Come on. We're almost there. We're almost there. There you go. So it's finally turned towards summer. I think the weather's calmed down and decided that it's going to be sunny and warm. That's nice. Though it does mean mosquitoes have started existing again, which is annoying. Because it's especially annoying. My mom and I, mosquitoes go straight for us. No idea why. Pretty much leave my brothers and dad alone, but they go straight for us. So we have to use like the strongest bug spray that we know of, at least, all the time, just to like keep them away. And my dad and my brothers are like, I don't know what you're talking about. They never bother me. Which is annoying. But, found I'm a lot more productive in this whole quarantine thing. I had like such a long list of shows and stuff that I've been meaning to watch, but I never had time because like schoolwork and things. And now, especially, keeping up with my classes and all of that, but I can actually watch those shows and do more drawing and stuff that than I had been able to before. On that note, though, of Corona, U.S. deaths has hit 100,000 dead, which is yikes. Which even more solidifies this reopening thing is a bad idea. Like, have you seen any plague movie ever? This is a bad idea. 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 So obviously, my family and I, we are not participating in this. It's another thing. There's been a lot of protests against the wrongful death of George Floyd. The police officer who killed him has been arrested and charged with murder, but there are still protests against systemic racism and violence in the police force and in other institutions in America. Because obviously the death of George Floyd is not the first this year, let alone ever, and it is a huge problem that has gone largely unanswered for. Many people are being arrested for protesting. There was a news reporter who got arrested on camera just for reporting. The protests in most cities were peaceful until the police started throwing tear gas, and in several cities shooting rubber bullets. I'm going to include some links in the description. Please, please, please donate to the bail funds for Minneapolis, Los Angeles, DC, New York, any of them that you can. Especially if anyone is watching, if you're white, then you might not have known about this. You might not think it's a huge problem. It is. We need to stand by people of color. We need to speak out against it. We need to do stuff. We need to donate. Make sure you try to get representatives and people in the government to notice. We need to keep speaking out and fighting against this. So please donate. Please do all you can. I'm annoyed at the pandemic because I totally would go and be part of the protests in DC if it weren't for the pandemic. Anyone who is in the protests, I admire your bravery. Please wear protection. Please wear gloves, long sleeves, hoodies. Please wear goggles and masks. Try to limit exposure as much as possible. Oh, also, happy Pride Month. This channel is a safe space for all LGBTQ and all people of color. Racism, homophobia, sexism, transphobia, all of that will not be tolerated here. Same with my Instagram. I do not support this. We actively fight against it. So happy Pride Month. Pride nails. Please do try to support this. I will include links to the bail funds along with the regular donate to help alleviate corona financial stress. School's almost over. We have 2 weeks, 4 days left. It's weird, even though we're in self-isolation, quarantine, stay-at-home order, all of that, and we're doing school from home, something that has never happened before in the middle of a pandemic, and we're down to 2 days of school a week. These last 2 weeks of school, there's still the sense of, oh, it's almost over, can't wait for it to be over, it's only 2 weeks, and then we're out for summer. Which, of course, summer's canceled. Because, corona. But even though we're still just going to be at home, there's still that sense of it's almost over, the anticipation of it in the last 2 weeks, just like every other year. Found that quite interesting. I've been working on a realistic drawing of a fantasy animal for my drawing animals class. I drew the animal 4 years ago, and now I'm gonna try to draw it more realistically. I did a silhouette first, and now I've done a sketch, a black and white sketch. I'm going to try to do a full color version later. It's been weird these past couple days to a week almost after the governor announced that they were easing restrictions. People seem to have taken that as, oh, pandemic's over now. Woohoo, let's go party. Which, anyone watching, no, you should not do that. Bad, don't. There is absolutely no basis that reopening now is fine. It's just because people were tired of it and the government wants to save the economy. It's a bad idea. It's a really, really bad idea. We don't have a treatment, let alone a cure or even a vaccine. We are no safer now than we were when we started. This is a bad idea. Just, it's kind of frustrating knowing that this is going to end badly and just having to wait for it. It's like you're screaming into the void that this is a bad idea and no one's there to hear you. It's like you want to prevent this, but it's so far beyond you. If you feel like if you could just get the government especially to listen, but of course they're never going to hear you. And the damage is already done. They've reopened many places. I'm just waiting at this point for the spike in cases. Like, the first state to open, Georgia, 40% spike in cases. Wonder why. And there's no guidelines even for reopening. Like, there's no mandate or whatever from the government that's like, oh, to reopen you have to do these things. Like, there's some stores, some restaurants have opened and some don't even have you have to wear a mask. The employees have to wear a mask, but like the people going in don't. Like even the very minimal safety precautions aren't mandatory. This is going to end badly. Something like this hasn't happened since 1918. And we're handling it badly. Trump just pulled funding from the World Health Organization in the middle of a pandemic, which is the best move ever. Just astounded by his brilliance. This is never gonna end well. were talking about the possibility, if the world doesn't handle this well, that this could be the apocalypse. Which, I don't know how other countries are handling it. I know Germany's reopening a few things, but this is not a good idea. Well, on the bright side, happy Pride Month.